First of all, Jeff, people should only invest in what they themselves know a lot about. They shouldn't listen to me or anybody else. Stay with what you know if you want to be successful. If you listen to me and something works, you don't know what to do. You don't know why you bought it. If it goes down, you don't know what to do because you don't know why you bought it. So please stay with what you know. I am convinced we're going to have a very serious recession in the foreseeable future. And if we do, you better know what you're doing because it's going to be bad.
Most people know the stock market, maybe indirectly through stock mutual funds, but they know the stock market. And of course, the problem is in times of, as you've recently predicted, an extended bear market, or even as you just said, a recession, when the tide goes out, all the boats tend to fall. But the stocks are what they know. So how does an average investor fix that?
If that's all they know, be sure you invest only in stocks that you know a lot about. But I would also suggest you start learning about other things, because in the world economy, there are interest rates, bonds, there are commodities, because we all need cotton and sugar and iron. There's not just, there's bonds, there's stocks, there's commodities, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's property. Please, it's not easy. I wish this were easy. Oh, David, I wish this were easy to get rich. But you and Jeff both know it's not easy getting rich.
But Jim, you seem to be saying that, or hinting toward, I want to make sure I have you correct, that we're going to go into a recession, perhaps a really serious recession, which in theory at least, that in of itself should solve the inflation problem. Isn't that correct?
Not necessarily. It did not solve the inflation problem in the 1970s. Inflation problem got worse because they kept borrowing money and spending money and printing money. No, it's not that simple.
Another serious concern is everything we're hearing in the media, Jim, is about the next leg down in the market, that this is just a false bear market rally. And so what's your thesis going forward, Jim? I know it's really hard to consult a crystal ball and everything's based on statistics and educated guesses here, but you've got so much history and knowledge. Tell us what your thesis is going forward on where we see the next leg down, or will the market trend up from here?
Jeff, I make plenty of mistakes. I make many mistakes. We could do a week of shows about my mistakes, so don't think I know what I'm doing. But I will say there's a lot of pessimism around right now, huge amounts of pessimism that often leads to a big rally. If something happens, such as peace in Ukraine or who knows what, it could lead to a huge rally. In my view, that would be the last rally. And I hope I am not sold short yet. I have not sold yet. But if that happens, then I would probably start selling and selling short.
So you're thinking it's going to get, make it another dead cat bounce, if you will, in the market. But after that, you think we're going to put in new lows in the market, below which what we saw just about a month ago.
David, the next bear market's going to be the worst in my lifetime. We had a big bear market in 2008 because of too much debt. Since 2008, the debt everywhere has skyrocketed all over the world. All over the world. So it's going to be a huge bear market next time around. I'm not trying to scare people. I just want people to do their homework, figure out what's going on, and be prepared.
Well, I think on that debt note, Jim, the market is really codependent on the Fed and the central banks globally continually propping up stock values by lowering rates, going negative, or printing up more money. And I see it just as a repetitive cycle. I mean, it really just is paper. They're never going to pay the principal back on that. They could hit the delete button and it all disappears and nobody would care. So the whole thing is based on maybe a pyramid, you could say, or even a Ponzi scheme.
Well, I wish it were that easy, Jeff. We just all print money all day long. The Bank of Japan guy goes to work and he says he prints, his word, unlimited amounts of money. If that's all it's going to take, hooray, hooray, hooray. Won't it be wonderful? None of us ever have to work again. We never have to work. We just have to print money. It's not that easy, and it's not going to be that easy this time around. If they do just print money, inflation is going to get very, very serious. The currency markets are going to cave in, and interest rates are going to go through the roof.
If you're expecting the worst recession of a lifetime, and the Fed's response to that is always to push down interest rates, as crazy as this may sound, is it possible that this may be a time to lock in some decent interest rates and things like longer term, high quality bonds or things like that? But it sounds like your answer to that is no, because you're expecting more of that 1970s stagflation scenario.
Yes, there will be times when interest rates will go down. The central banks around the world have that much power, but they cannot control it forever. And David, the more money you print, eventually people like me say, wait a minute, I've been to this rodeo before. This is not my first rodeo. I know how this is going to end. And we know that in the end, interest rates are going to go through the roof if they could continue to print huge amounts of money and we have big inflation. I know how this will end. You don't have to believe me. Look it up. It's pretty simple.
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information. And it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
I have bad news for you. If you're not rich by now, you're screwed. And if you're in debt, you're even double screwed. How so, you might wonder? Well, the sad truth is that you're working your whole life to make someone else rich. The mega corporations, the banks, the politicians, everyone is getting richer. They get your money. And what is even worse, they get your time, they get your life. You are not even in a rat race, you're in a financial prison. But what could a solution for you look like? Honestly, I don't know, but I know what a solution for me would look like. It's very simple. I use whatever money I have and I multiply it with 1,000. This could make my life much easier and probably yours as well. If you have $1,000 available and multiply this with 1,000, I believe that this could solve some financial issue for the one or the other. Of course, if you're ugly, you would have to multiply it with much more than 1,000. My name is Markus Dahn, and this is what I decided to do. I decided to 1000x my money. This is not a joke. I know what you may be thinking. What is this guy talking about? How should this work? This is not possible. Well, I made a detailed video where I laid out my plan. And some clever folks might even want to look at this plan and copy it and do exactly what I do. This is just a little hint on the side. You have two options. You leave, you forget what you have seen. You do whatever you're doing and you hope that somehow you get some other results. Good luck with that. Or you click the link below the video. You enter your email address because I'm not showing this to everybody. You at least watch my video on how I plan to 1000x my money. The choice is yours. Make the right choice. Join me. See what a different future you could have. See at least how I intend, how I plan to do the 1000x. So click on the link below, enter your email address, and I see you on the other side. Your Markus Dahn.